Now, the time of the human subject, of course, is a time of memory and fantasy. It's a time of the repetition compulsion. It's a time of the after effect, the après-coup, as the French put it, something that hits you hard long after the event, something that didn't mean very much at the time, but later, in retrospect, becomes very influential, even traumatic, something that hits you hard.
In 2002, I wrote a review of Minority Report for a small online magazine called Unbarred. I hope to parlay this unpaid part-time role into a full-time writing position at a magazine. In the review, I devote a paragraph to a discussion of eyes and Erasmus.
It's like my daddy used to say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
But the something that has subsequently hit me hard, I cover in only 4 words. A scene has been haunting me. It is a small scene. This is how it opens. It is John Anderton's ritual, his repetition compulsion, where he communes with his lost son in the form of a holographic projection.
Sean!
Hi, Daddy. Can you teach me how to run faster? Because all the kids at my class run faster than me.
No. That's good, eh?
Look, keep your knees up.
Knees up like that. Good.
Like that.
Like that.
Like that. High, high,
that,
like
high.
that. See, you're a natural runner.
Gotta keep running.
Gotta keep running. Gotta keep running.
Gotta keep running.
For the longest time, I had no specific memory of Minority Report. It was no more or less than a DVD on a shelf. But as Victor Bergen notes in the remembered film, the more the film is distanced in memory, the more the binding effect of the narrative is loosened. The sequence breaks apart. The fragments go adrift and enter into new combinations, more or less transitory, in the eddies of memory, memories of other films, and memories of real events. Perhaps then, this fractured memory of a scene from Minority Report grafted onto a memory of a real event, precipitating the après-coup.
Something that didn't mean very much at the time, but later, in retrospect, becomes very influential, even traumatic.
Like the time I briefly lost my son at the zoo. I was here, putting my youngest in the pram. My eldest wanders off, looking for his favourite lizard, and ends up over here. And I spend a breathless 90 seconds looking for him. It could be that, though it hadn't occurred to me to think about it like that until just now. When I read the prompt text for this video essay, I immediately flashed to this memory of Minority Report. The text asked questions about parental fears, helplessness, and death. And my response was a holographic projection of Sean Anderton, the après-coup. The scene is my own repetition compulsion, cut deep into the grooves of my memory, primed to surface when certain conditions are met. In the remembered film, Victor Bergen recounts his own haunting, a scene from Powell and Pressburger's 1944 film, A Canterbury Tale. He resolves to make his own images of the scene's location, noting that it had intermittently played on my mind over quite a long period of time before, and I hoped thereby to exercise it. Whilst I feel an exorcism is unlikely, I have chosen to dwell here in the expanded archive of Minority Report, in what Bergen refers to as its cinematic heterotopia, in the hope that I might at least rehabilitate my memory to some extent. And taking a further cue from Bergen, I have decided to create a new version of this scene, this memory, in the hope that next time I am prompted to recall it, I might remember it differently.
Hello?
Hey, Tom, it's Cormac.
How are you?
I'm going to try to remember it differently.
Very well.
Let me close then with an expression of this thought. This is from Kurt Vonnegut's book, Cat's Cradle. This is a kind of prayer that one of the characters in the novel says, supposed to say at the deathbed. God made mud. God got lonesome. So God said to some of the mud, sit up. See all I've made, said God. The hills, the sea, the sky, the stars. And I was some of the mud that got to sit up and look around. Lucky me, lucky mud. I, mud, sat up and saw what a nice job God had done. Nice going, God. Nobody but you could have done it, God. I certainly couldn't have. I feel very unimportant compared to you. The only way I can feel the least bit important is to think of all the mud that didn't even get to sit up and look around. I got so much, and most mud got so little. Thank you for the honor. Now mud lies down again and goes to sleep. What memories for mud to have. What interesting other kinds of sitting up mud I met. I loved everything I saw.
Okay, that'll do.
You got it?
Yeah, I think we got it.